If you've been watching Ghana's growth, you know that we're entering a once-in-a-generation shift when it comes to infrastructure projects in the country. There's massive upgrades, there's billion-dollar investments being mooted for various areas, and potentially entire industrial cities coming to life. In this video, I'm breaking down the different projects on the horizon and how they will impact the real estate and general development opportunities between now and 2030. So you should have them on your radar. Now, this opportunity win may be shorter than you think, but we're all in prime position to make moves shortly. The first area I'd like to focus on is the whole Ningo Pram region and area, including Dawenya and associated towns. Reason for this is there is a massive road extension happening on the Tema-Accra motorway, multiple lanes either side. It's going to reduce traffic times immensely, and it goes all the way up to Ningo Pram. So the Tema-Aflower Road is also being upgraded and rebuilt into 3-lane dual carriageway with major interchanges. It's really going to be game changing. And what you can start to see is there are various Chinese retail outlets, wholesalers positioning themselves and building massive warehouses in and around that. When you go along the Accra Tema Road and you look either side, it changes rapidly and it's very heavily industrialized, all the way from the back of Spintex through to communities 11, 6 onwards up into more Tema Metropolitan and even further out to Dawenya. So Dawenya is a key one to look out for, where there's land available and might be quite affordable as well. Ghana has recently signed a $1 billion deal with the UAE Ports, Customs and Free Zones Corporation to build a 25 square kilometer technology and AI hub in Ningo Pram. Construction starts next year in 2026 and targeted to be end by the 2027. So that's the aim of this, is to attract the big names like Microsoft, Meta, IBM, and build thousands of jobs. And it's in line with the government's 1 million coders program. Now, my thing with the 1 million coders program is that coding is changing extremely quickly. As we know, artificial intelligence is taking a big role in coding. So we need to make sure that not only are we building the physical infrastructure, but we're also building the educational infrastructure in the lead up to this, giving youth opportunities to apply AI and coding skills to real life scenarios, real life challenges, real life problems. Looking at Kuro, Ningo Pram still looks like a very affordable area to buy land potentially. So sort of around the 3-4K mark, all the way up to 22K USD. But that is very low comparable and is still considered a greater Accra area. So this is an area I would move fast on. Some of these big industrial projects can come through or not. There was an airport rumored in the Sopali area, which again is in the Ningo Pram side. It's never really materialized. But with this UAE backing, I think this is something where you should definitely look into. That's my humble opinion, but do your research, do your due diligence, because if there are intentions to build this 25 square kilometer technology hub, you need to make sure you're not buying land where they're intending that hub to be. So make sure your due diligence is done. Further east of Accra, so this whole eastern corridor is going to be really important. We've also got Dawa. So Dawa is quietly becoming one of West Africa's most advanced special economic zones. So these special economic zones offer tax incentives for heavy manufacturing and building of infrastructure that benefits the country. So there's 2,000 acres of service land, reliable power, fiber broadband, and plus a planned link to the Tema port that could move 100,000 containers a year. Tenants are getting tax holidays and duty waivers. And in 2025, the IFC committed to 21 million for phase 1 of a 150 megawatt solar PV plant, operational by October 2026, making Dawa one of the first renewable powered industrial hubs in the region. When you're thinking about Dawa and you come to Ghana and you ever visit Aqua Safari in Ada, you'll be going along that road and you'll be passing Ningo Pram, Dawenya, etc. And you will start to see these massive structures being built and erected around there. This is the whole industrial zone. Now, yes, it's going to be more industrial in terms of an area, but what you need to be thinking about is what the surrounding areas are looking like. How's the residential makeup going to be looking? Is there an opportunity for you to industrialize? I think before real estate or anything like that, Ghana needs to industrialize. So is there any manufacturing capability, energy capability that you are building in the West or you work for in the West that you can learn from and transport or transition over to Ghana? This economic zone is something that everybody could benefit if you have the right capability and backing to do so. Looking at Dawa on Kuro as well, this is also a low-cost land area as it stands. It's plentiful, the land. So in buying it, you probably have to buy large parcels, but the median price is around $3,000, $4,000, maximum up to $13,000, but that's probably large parcels. If you have the vision and the financial backing to land bank a big piece, potentially develop in and around, I think it could be a huge opportunity. Again, you have to have really long-term thinking. Okay, the next area I really want to focus on is Gomoa Central and Gomoa Fete. So again, this is further out west, past Kaswa, etc., and in the central region. There is an ambition to launch a 24-hour wholesale market for the district, and that will be a massive transformation. What's the plan? They're relocating the old market to build West Africa's largest wholesale market, and it's going to be supported by a brand new dual carriageway. And that road is just incredible in terms of scale and what's going to happen. This is part of the overall 24-hour business district vision, which with apartments, commercial space, and with close proximity to the University of Education. I've also heard rumors actually that this may also start to emerge to be a economic free zone, similar to what we had in Dawa. I heard a politician speaking about that on the radio. So again, something really to look out for is this kind of Goma central areas and that kind of west side of the country and in the central region. Really trying to boost economic activity, create jobs, and provide a platform for local businesses to thrive, which we all want and need in the country. Looking at Kuro again, we've got limited information when it comes to Gomoa, but there are land prices ranging from $2,000 all the way up to $62,000. Different price ranges means different sizes, etc. But something to figure out. It's not something that's going to be openly advertised much on the internet. What it's more going to be like is, how do I say, people in the know, local key people who own large swathes of the land that you can kind of try and engage to get any land in that area. Okay, heading over to the Volta region now, specifically at Daklo. There is an ambition for 2,700 acres secured for an agro-processing industrial park in the 24-hour economy policy. Kassav rice factories of the blueprint, a significant job creator for the Volta region. So that is going to be huge. Industrialization is so important in Ghana because that's what's going to grow the country. Real estate developments are fine, but if you think about the employability, it is from project to project for people who work on these projects. But when you've got something like an agro-processing plant bringing jobs and to an entire village or district, that is generational employment. When I worked in consulting, I was going from country to country, right? And in these countries, like Germany, there would be one plant there that manufactures whatever it's manufacturing, right? But that plant had employed generations and generations. I was at Rolls-Royce in Derby recently, and I spoken to a guy there, and he was like, I work here, my ex-wife worked here, my dad worked here, my granddad worked here. If we can create the same thing in Ghana, and I like the way the government's going about it at the moment, as long as we can push it through and to completion, that's what we need. So this is awesome news. From final for 2030 is going to be Apollonia or Oyibi. So Apollonia is a city that's aspired and has been for a while. This is a 200-acre light industrial park and residential city. The ambition is tarred roads, high-speed internet, 24-hour security, and integrated residential zone to make it a live-work hub. Now, recently there was new news about Apollonia. It was showcased at the Ghana-China Business Summit in Accra. So it brought together 90 Chinese investors, entrepreneurs, and business leaders seeking opportunities to invest and collaborate across sectors in Ghana. So you can see where the attention is going. Do not be asleep in the West, because people are here trying to ascertain what their role is going to be in shaping the future of Ghana, and Ghana being the gateway to Africa as a whole. So key sectors included real estate, manufacturer, agriculture, agro-processing, and technology. So the president's chief of staff was there, and with the ongoing trade wars, Ghana has provided a safe and viable place to set up a business, which have close proximity to African markets through Africa Freed Continental Trade Area. So it's big opportunities. Apollonia City provides investors with infrastructure and support they need to establish a lasting presence in Ghana's largest urban development, whether manufacturing, agro-processing, technology, or logistics, with access to water, electricity, high-speed internet, tarred roads, close proximity to high-quality labor pool. Apollonia City Industrial Park represents an enclave where businesses may thrive. I mean, that's exciting, and that's exactly what I'm an advocate for, which is industrialization, as opposed to just pure real estate. Real estate must come with industrialization. That's excellent. Let's create more of these generational opportunities. In terms of Apollonia or Yibi, land prices looking at about 3K up to 22K, a little bit of supply. I've searched Apollonia specifically. So let's just have a look at Yibi as well. And you never know, you might want to buy an old house or something in that area and work with that. Can help you with the research on. So Yibi, more specifically, land is between 3,000 and 4.1 million, which I'm sure is a huge piece of land. Just look at the price overview to see where this land distributes, or the prices distribute. So yeah, the most appearing is between 13 and 14,000, 8 and 9, 14, around the 15K mark. 6 and 7,000, there are opportunities there. There's massive opportunities to get quite affordable land in an area that's on the come up. Okay, so in summary, there are some key road and airport upgrades that you should be aware of to factor in your decision making as well. The Accra Tema motorway we've discussed is going to be a 10-lane expressway. That's going to be crazy. There's also the Kaswa, Winneba, Cape Coast dualization, opening up the central region. That's all coming into the kind of the Guamafete that we've mentioned before. So by 2030, these projects will have reshaped Ghana's opportunity map, whether it's the industrial parks, the 24-hour warehouses, the logistics hubs, or the commercial district. Early positioning is where the big gains are made. To find out more, to do any custom research, you can do that with Kuro. If you like this video, I'm sure you enjoy this one, where I talk about where you can find homes under 100K in Ghana. Until next time, take care, see you soon.